The Harappan Civilization, also known as the Indus Valley Civilization, was one of the world's earliest urban societies, flourishing between 2500 and 1900 BCE. Its most famous cities, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, were built with a high degree of planning and organization, showing a level of urban development not seen elsewhere at the time. Harappan cities were designed on a grid system. Streets ran at right angles, dividing the city into rectangular blocks. Main streets could be as wide as 33 feet, with secondary streets and lanes between 9 and 12 feet, and smaller alleys around 4 to 5 feet wide. This layout made movement easy and organized the city into distinct areas. The cities were divided into two main sections: Citadel, also called the Acropolis, which was a raised, fortified area for important public buildings and the ruling elite. Then there was the Lower Town, the main residential area for ordinary people, with uniform houses and public amenities. Most houses were built with standardized baked bricks and often had 2 stories, private wells, courtyards, and bathing areas. The use of mud mortar, lime, and gypsum for binding bricks was common. The city was divided into sectors for residential, commercial, and public purposes, reflecting social equality and careful planning. One of the most remarkable achievements of the Harappan civilization was its drainage system, which, was advanced even by modern standards. Almost every house was connected to the city's drainage system through private drains. Wastewater from bathing areas, kitchens, and toilets was efficiently removed from each house. Drains were built using precisely laid baked bricks, often sealed with mud mortar. Main drains ran along the streets and were covered with flat bricks or stone slabs that could be removed for cleaning and maintenance. Most drains were underground and covered, which really helped maintain sanitation and protected the system. Wider drains were covered with stone blocks or extra-long bricks, and some culverts used corbelled arches for added strength. The drainage system was hierarchical. House drains emptied into street drains. Street drains led to larger public drains running along main roads. These drains ultimately discharged wastewater outside the city or into rivers. Drains had inspection holes and manholes at regular intervals for easy cleaning. Settling pits and traps were built to collect sediment and debris, which were periodically removed. There were provisions for rainwater harvesting and management of water from roofs and upper stories, which was carried down via terracotta pipes or open chutes into the drains below. The drainage system was an integral part of the city's grid layout, running parallel to streets and lanes. Special bricks were used at corners and junctions to ensure proper flow and durability. The Harappan drainage system stands as a hallmark of ancient engineering, reflecting a deep understanding of sanitation, urban planning, and public health unmatched by contemporary civilizations. Brick technology formed the very foundation of Harappan architecture. So, the Harappans actually used both sun-dried or unbaked and kiln-baked bricks. But, baked bricks really became the standard during the mature phase of their civilization. Bricks were made in these very standardized proportions, typically 4 to 2 to 1 in terms of length, width, and height. The process involved molding clay, drying it out in the sun, and then firing it in kilns. The use of baked bricks was, pretty much necessary because of frequent floods, heavy rainfall, and also the scarcity of stone and wood in the region. Bricks actually came in a variety of shapes: rectangular, square, round, semicircular, L-shaped, and even T-shaped. And each type was suited for specific structural purposes, like wells, drains, and corners. Harappan bricks were of exceptional quality, often considered to be superior to those found in other contemporary civilizations. They even had special bricks that were used for corners, junctions, and water-related structures. Baked bricks were mainly used for walls, drains, wells, granaries, and public buildings, while unbaked bricks were sometimes used in the core of thick walls. So, here's a mathematical data example for you. The standard brick ratio was 4 to 2 to 1, that's length to width to height. The Great Bath at Mohenjo-daro measured approximately 12 meters long, 7 meters wide, and 2.4 meters deep. Major buildings served as monuments of civic life, really showcasing the community's priorities and organization. The Great Bath at Mohenjo-daro is, well, the oldest known public water tank in the world. It measures about 12 by 7 meters and is 2.4 meters deep. This impressive structure was constructed with baked bricks and waterproofed using gypsum and bitumen. It was likely used for ritual or public bathing and, it even had surrounding changing rooms along with a really sophisticated water supply and drainage system. Granaries were these massive storage buildings found in both Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. The granary at Mohenjo-daro, for example, was about 150 by 75 feet, divided into 27 sections, and it featured ventilation as well as transport arrangements. These granaries were used for storing grain during famines or emergencies, making sure the community could survive tough times. At Lothal in Gujarat, there was a sunken trapezoidal dockyard, with really high walls and a sluice gate designed specifically for managing water levels. This impressive dockyard actually enabled maritime trade with West Asia and, other distant regions too. There were also other important structures, like large public halls with multiple brick pillars. These assembly halls were probably used for gatherings or maybe even religious purposes. And just nearby, there were residential quarters for workers near the granaries, built using a mix of baked and unbaked bricks. Refreshment houses were, these large rooms located near roads and intersections. They most likely served as rest houses or even cafes for traders and travelers passing through. The Harappan Civilization was, honestly, remarkable for its highly organized urban planning and zoning. They had advanced drainage and sanitation systems, which is pretty impressive for that time. Their brick construction was standardized and of really high quality, and their public buildings were practical and community-oriented, focusing on the needs of the people. Of course, there were some limitations too. There was minimal use of stone and decorative elements, which made things a bit plain. In some areas, wells and drains were placed quite close together. Also, a few streets were left unpaved. The architecture was simple and functional, rather than featuring grand religious or administrative monuments. The Harappan Civilization's achievements in town planning, drainage, brick technology, and public architecture were honestly far ahead of their time. Their cities stood out as models of order, hygiene, and efficient resource management. Even today, the legacy of Harappan engineering continues to inspire modern urban planning and civil engineering, standing as a testament to the ingenuity and vision of one of the world's earliest urban societies.